Okay. Has it been ordered properly, or should I? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you, panelists. I'm sitting in the convenient seat of being a moderator, so I don't have to answer any questions, but I get to ask you the questions. So, what's that? Yeah, not too far from here. Okay, I think go back one. I think, yeah, that's it. I think fundamentally, everyone wants to know entrepreneurship, and there's a lot of definition. So I think I decided I'll check up the dictionary and find out the exact meaning, and it even came up with the pronunciation. Apparently it's entrepreneur, and a person who organizes, operates, and assumes the risk for a business venture. But I want to get the panel's opinion on what an entrepreneur really is, and then we can take it from there to entrepreneurship. So I'm going to ask Raju first about your opinion on what entrepreneurship is all about.
It's on.
All right, thank you, Jan. It's quite an honor to be here with all of you. Before I get to the answer, I just wanted to say a few words about what Chandra, Ashish Garg, and Ashisha and this leadership team, the new BITSAA SVC new leadership team has been doing. I think just a fabulous idea. You guys finally zeroing in on this sort of, the mentorship, the entrepreneurship. I think it's a long time coming, so I just want to compliment you. Let's give them a big hand. It's good that you have a dictionary definition. Frankly, I never looked at that before. But I can certainly share, my experiences, what it has meant to be, as an entrepreneur. I started my journey back in '93, so I have been kind of on this path for quite a few years now. And as I think about it, there were really two main considerations, and they're still very important to me. One, just the joy, I guess, of being independent, as in an opportunity to, I felt, to best control my own destiny by being an entrepreneur. And secondly, it's each of us, and you'll often hear this from entrepreneurs, they are passionate about something. In my case, it was largely the desire to be connected with India, predominantly back then. Now, the world has changed a lot. You don't need to be thinking about that in your professional life these days, right? To be connected with India. So to me, it was really the opportunity to be connected with India, and it meant, starting a services company, which has now become more of a best-in-class global services company, something that I was very passionate about, and I found the best way to achieve that was really through this sort of a journey of being an entrepreneur. And despite all the fun and glory, you often hear that an entrepreneur's journey also has a lot of risk. And Chandra, interestingly, was talking about how do you increase your odds of being successful. And one of the things that he mentioned is spouse, and I just can't say enough about it. I think it's extremely important, to have your family also fully behind that. And I was very fortunate to have my wife Neeraj sitting out there, to be a very, very important part of that along the way. And there is always that fear, frankly, that I think drives any entrepreneur, successful or otherwise. And it's a fear of competition. Sometimes even much more basic in the early years. It's a fear of meeting your payroll. And I guess a well-known management guru. This is the guy, I grew up in this company where my CEO, it's Andy Grove, who wrote the book, Only the Paranoid Survive. So, the fear is absolutely, it is the right thing, it is essential in some ways. So, I just wanted to, share that while there's a lot of, joy and glory and fun and all of that, it certainly comes with its own risk, and, it's the kind of thing that keeps me up at night, worrying about, what else do I need to do to really achieve my mission or my purpose for my business. And that again changes through the course of your journey. Whatever might have driven me early on in terms of the vision for my company is quite different from what it is today. The core it may not be that different, but the specific objectives are quite distinct. And I want to leave it at that.
So Raju, sounds like masala to me. It's got all the ingredients. Is that entrepreneurship? Let's find out from Punita.
This sounds okay? You hear me? Entrepreneurship, it's a good question, Jen. I think it's being a bit crazy and not being uncomfortable about it. At least for me, that's been the case. It's also been about being different, and again, being comfortable about it. It's also about, you know, it sounds very funny, waking up every morning and wanting to do what you're going to do without worrying about what comes with it, or totally being proud of uncertainty that goes with entrepreneurship and not being fearful about it. Goes a little bit against what Raju said, only paranoid survive, but you know, it's kind of being comfortable with paranoia, if you will, and not trading that for anything else that you would get with a comfortable lifestyle, if you will. And last but not the least, for me personally, it's been really about being very comfortable with the idea of disassociating what you do with what you make. And I know it sounds crazy, but when I was in a job, I always worried about what am I going to make personally, what is my next promotion going to look like. And once you become the entrepreneur, the buck stops at you, and you're actually very comfortable even making a big zero, or maybe even going into the negative. And really your mind becomes disassociated with the money part of it, and it gets associated with the success part. And of course you would assume that down the line success would make you money, but when you're doing it, you're really enjoying the act of doing it, not the money you make at that point. And I know it sounds crazy, but you are actually proud of being crazy at that time. So enjoying the journey, if you will, has been the part of, greatest part of entrepreneurship for me personally.
Now it's making sense. It's more like crazy Indian masala. Let's find out. Prem, what do you think?